welcome to Voice and the Alexander Technique. I'm Alison Taylor, and today we're going to be exploring finding focus when your mind is all over the place. So this is a great short video you can use if you're trying to get down to practicing and you're just finding that there's too much going on. It's great for the morning of an audition or a performance, or even before teaching. Like if you have a really busy day full of lots of students and you're just finding your mind is really going a million miles a minute, it's a great video to use if you just want to calm yourself down, quiet the chatter, and connect back into your body so that when you start teaching or when you have that performance or audition, you're a little more settled and a little more embodied. So I have Mr. Skellington here today. He might be helping us along the way, just with some landmarks. So you can set yourself up on a chair. I'm on a hard stool today, but you can also use a chair, or you can sit on the floor cross-legged or sitting on your knees, or you can even lie flat on your back. So today, if you are sitting on a chair, you want to find something that has a firm bottom so that you can find your sitting bones. So here's our first kind of bony landmark of this video. Your sitting bones are just at the bottom of your pelvis. So these little bony protuberances here at the bottom of your pelvis that you might be able to feel if you move yourself around on your chair. You may start to feel when you're off your sitting bones, when you're back and feeling a little bit more on the fleshy part of your buttocks, or when you're too far forward, you can feel you're in front of your sitting bones. Your sit bone starts to point behind you. And then when your sitting bones are just right underneath you. So just do a little shimmy around so that you can start to feel, what does it feel like when I'm in front of my sitting bones, behind my sitting bones, more of my mass behind my sitting bones? Is there strain involved anywhere in you as you shift back and forth over the sitting bones? And come to that place where you don't feel that strain or push and pull of your musculature, but where you just feel evenly balanced, evenly distributed over your sitting bones. So take a few moments just to explore that little bit of movement. And already, just by bringing your awareness down into a deeper part of yourself, into physical sensation, you're doing a lot of good work just to quiet that mental chatter by bringing awareness to what's actually happening here and now. So once you've found those bony landmarks of the sitting bones, we're just going to take a moment. You can close your eyes or keep them open if you like, to just notice the feet on the floor if you're in a chair. Notice the feeling of the ground coming up underneath your feet to support you. And bring some awareness to the chair coming up underneath you. So as your sitting bones meet the chair, as you meet the chair is also coming up underneath you to meet you with even, equal pressure. So just give yourself a moment just to register that meeting. You are meeting the chair and the chair is meeting you. So taking a moment to register that support through the whole of you. And maybe you're already noticing that mind has slowed down a little bit and you're actually finding a little bit of quiet. And if not, if you're still in a chatter mode, that's absolutely fine too. Just make some space for that chatter. So you can be aware of the support of the floor and the support of the chair at the same time as you're aware of any chatter that may still be happening. So remind yourself you have nothing to fix for the next few minutes. You're just here with this video, the sound of my voice, with your sensation. It's your only job, just to be aware. Notice the sounds around you in the space that you're sitting in. The sounds in the room. Any sounds you might be aware of outside. And if your eyes are open, just taking in the space around you. Not focusing on any one thing, but just letting the images in the space come to you. Spend a lot of the day in fast organizational thinking, analytical thinking, and that's fantastic. We need that for our singing. We need that for learning new repertoire. We need that kind of thinking when we're with a student or with a class. But just for now, we can just turn the volume down on that kind of thinking and processing and just come to right now. And then riffing on this sensation experiment or exploration, I'm going to ask you to bring one hand to your belly, so it can be just around the navel. And then your other hand, you're going to place the back of your hand on the small of your back. So you're making a U sandwich. So here you have one hand on the front of you and one hand on the back of you. If this is tough on your shoulder for whatever reason, you can bring that back hand and place it over the front hand. But if it's comfortable for you to have one hand on the back, place the palm on the belly and the back of your hand on your back. And here I'll invite you to close the eyes or have a soft gaze on a spot on the floor slightly in front of you. And just notice that there's a front and back movement to the breath. So your hands are just helping you to notice any sensation of movement as the breath moves you today. So rather than going and looking for that movement or really trying to find it, instead just ask yourself, what movement am I aware of? There is a front and back movement to your breath. So we're simply allowing that movement. What part of you is moving? Do you feel more movement in one hand than the other? Simply being aware of that movement, front and back movement. And now bring the backs of the hands to the sides of the torso. So we're making like little chicken wings here. So I'm placing the back of my hand on one side and the other. And just notice that there can be a side-to-side movement of your breath. And just ask yourself the question, what movement side to side am I noticing? So instead of going in there and really trying to move the sides of the torso into the hands, just noticing, almost objective, no trying. The side to side movement of your breath. And then lastly, bring one hand to the collarbone area, so just at the base of the neck, and the other hand to the pubic bone. So if you open the eyes for a moment, we can't get right inside underneath, inside there. We can't get into the pelvic floor, but we can imagine just by placing the hand at the top of the pubic bone, and the other hand at the very top of the rib cage. Imagine that those top ribs right behind the collarbone. The rib cage is so high up there. We sort of think down here, but it's way up here. And imagine, so similarly, we can't get the hands horizontally through there, right? Because of obviously the body is there. But you can imagine that you're feeling the up and down movement. So you're just sort of cupping this whole torso, the whole breath column with the hands. And following the natural movement of your breath, just with your awareness, notice that there can be an up and down movement of your breath. So as the incoming breath falls in, the abdominal muscles, the muscles of the whole abdominal area, they release into their length. The diaphragm descends, which creates a displacement effect of the viscera, of the guts. So there's a swelling of that whole torso container with the incoming breath. And as the outgoing breath flows out, the abdominal wall gathers up and in, the rib cage descends, so there's a gathering through the whole torso container on the outgoing breath. So if you're able to include all directions of the breath now, the whole three-dimensional movement, allow your hands to move around the torso. And movement isn't contained or confined to the torso, but we're just exploring the torso movement today. Allow your hands to move around as you follow that natural expanding and gathering of your breath. The three-dimensional movement of your breath. So this is one of my favorite toys. If you open your eyes just to take a peek, this breath ball shows so beautifully this three-dimensional expansion and gathering of the breath that influences the whole torso container. It's amazing. So you can bring the hands to rest now on the thighs or at your sides. And just take a moment to take stock. So has anything changed for you since you started this exercise? Has the chatter changed or shifted at all? Is anything new or interesting happening in your whole self? After taking a few moments to just slow down and listen to what's happening in you, following the breath, focusing the attention. So let me know in the comments what new or interesting information came up for you in this exercise. If you have any requests for something you'd like to see talked about in a video, please let me know in the comments. So good luck with the rest of your day, or if you're heading off to sleep, I hope you have a nice rest, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.